All right, come on in. We'll set up the camera. You think about this. You're an Italian plumber from Brooklyn, okay? So you're a video game character, so make up an accent, make up a whatever, and then make up a video game and start talking, or yeah, whatever you want. I mean, that doesn't have to be a video game. Just start talking, and whenever you stop talking, that's your audition. And I'm like, okay. Italian plumber from Brooklyn, obviously. Hey, how you doing? I'm under your sink. Don't bother me here, you know? Or, hey, I'm working here. Get out of my face. And I'm thinking, you know, well, that would be not so fun if you were like, there were kids around, you know, you talk to them all day long. He's like, whoa, this guy, Marty. So I'm thinking, you know, well, I played Gremio and Taming of the Shrew a few years ago, and I thought, maybe I could make it nicer, a nice old Italian guy. He can talk like it is. And maybe I'll do that and make him younger and, you know, more vital. But I don't know anything about video games, you know? And he had said, well, listen, what you're going to do is you'll have these contacts glued to your face. And when you talk, this cartoon character of Mario, the Italian plumber from Brooklyn, he'll move his face in the same time. You say, hello, he'll go, hello, and then you can see people with a hidden camera, and you can hear people with a hidden microphone, and we have no idea if this is going to work or not, but if it doesn't work, you got to talk all day. So start talking, and just whatever, just you talk, and whenever you stop, that's your audition. And I'm sitting there thinking, you know, okay, I don't know anything about video games except, you know, and you know, and you know, what do you mean a character in a video game, you know? And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'll take that challenge though, because if you say to me, start talking, and whenever you run out of things to say, as you can see, that really doesn't happen very often. So I'm like sitting there thinking, well, I don't know anything about games, but I like food. And I hear action. And I turned to the camera and I said, hello, I'm a Mario. Let's make a pizza pie together. You go get some sausage. I'm going to get some spaghetti. We're going to put the spaghetti and the sausage in the pizza. And I'm going to chase you with the pizza. If I catch you with the pizza, you're going to eat the pizza. Then we're going to make another pizza. You're going to chase me with the pizza. If you catch me with the pizza, we're going to... And then we're going to make a spaghetti meatball, you know. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, for sure he's going to say, stop. You know, stop that. Yeah, stop that. And he doesn't, you know. And so I moved on to every food group, you know, that I could think of. Eating, chasing, running, chasing, eating, chasing, running, chasing, eating. You know, kitchen sink, and then, okay, then we'll hop in the sink and we'll go down the mountain where the meatball is coming behind us. And then, you know, and I just kept going on, and I kept thinking, okay, he's bound to say stop at one point. Okay, he's not going to say stop. Well, you know, and then we'll make a little moon rocket, and we'll go up to and you will buy meatballs, you know. And all of a sudden, I heard, cut, stop talking, please. There's no more tape. Thank you. We'll be in touch, you know. And which for an actor, of course, is the kiss of death. That means we'll see you later, you know. And I said, okay, well, thank you very much. And I would head back to the beach for watching the sunset, which is what I do. And he gets on the phone, calls Nintendo, said, I found our Mario, I got him. And that was the only tape that he sent up there. And that was 23 years ago, about. And it's been 23 years of, like, total, absolute joy ever since, you know. Yeah, you know, I'm grateful for every single day, because everything that I get to do with Nintendo is a great joy. You know, I work with the most wonderful creative people at Nintendo, the creative people in Japan, in America, and around the world. And I work with the PR people who are some of my favorite people in the whole wide world, all over the world. You know, and then I get to come to anime conventions like this and meet you wonderful people. And I just, so, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for being such great fans and for, you know, having such passion and joy in the games and the anime and the things that you do. Because I think that's a lesson to the whole wide world. It's a way of making a map, you know, when you live with your heart and your joy and your passion and with complete freedom like you guys do in the pursuit of what is your happiness, you know. That's the greatest thing about being who we are, you know, living our freedom and living our destiny. And I always say to everybody, because I really am the luckiest guy in the world, you know. I have so much joy and so much love and so much happiness in my world. And I wish that for every single one of you And now the only thing I can say is the way that I found it was not, I bungled through the whole thing. So there was nothing in me that said, I am going to be a voiceover actor. Never in my life did I have anything to, I've never been quite that conscious. But you know, I knew I wanted to be happy. I knew I wanted to live a life of travel and dreams and joy and fun and love and, you know, and playfulness and you know, and so that was my aim, and I was going to be a lawyer. Now, okay, there's probably not a lot of lawyers, but you know, I was going to go to law school and then go international law and then go live in London or Paris or, you know, someplace like that. I thought, well, that's perfect. And then I was in college and I couldn't get a single one of the classes with the one professor that I had ever had that made me think, you know, that asked me to think on a final exam, you know. And I thought, that's the guy that I'm going to write my thesis with. There's my destiny right there. And I went back to UC Berkeley for my last quarters, and I couldn't get a single class with him. And I'm like, I am not taking it from this other guy. That's where I draw the line in the sand, and I'm not going to do it. So I left Cal Berkeley, you know, which is like something that I suppose some people did on purpose. For me, it was like, if I can't do that, I'm not going to play it, you know. But it was, you know, that was me. And a friend of mine said, you got to come and take an acting class from me. And I said, Les, there is absolutely no way in the world I could ever stand up in front of people and talk. It's just impossible. It's terrifying. He goes, no, you can do this. I said, no, I can't. He goes, yeah, you can. I said, no, I can't. I really can't. He goes, yeah, you can. I'll tell you what. Come to the school, and you and I will have lunch in, you know, because there's a student chef program. So the food is wonderful, and we'll have lunch, and then we'll go do the acting class. And I'm like, food? Food? Well, I'll walk through fire for that. And so that's how he convinced me, through my stomach, you know, which is obviously the way to convince me with everything, you know. But so I went to the acting class, and the first thing you do in acting class is you start learning monologues, right? You start, like, you know, and of course he chooses the Spoon River anthology of these monologues of people that were dead, you know, that come back and they go, oh, my name is Joe. I died in a fire. It was terrible. You know, it's like the worst hammy sort of script you can possibly imagine. And it's like, how do you make that real, you know? And not only that, how do you say something in front of people without dying, you know? And so I learned my first monologue, and I actually think it was Joe. And I think he did die in the fire. But I remember that I hid in the back underneath the chair, hoping, you know, this is my Waluigi life. My Luigi life, you know, I just hiding behind the chair thinking, maybe he won't choose me, And I went through, everybody went through, and then I was the last one. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. My name is Joe. I died a horrible death in the fire, you know, and I'm sitting there as I start talking. My right knee starts going like this, you know, and, you know, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know, I put my weight on it, you know, because I figured everyone's seeing it, and then that knee starts going, and I'm convinced that the people are hearing, well, my name is Joe, and I'm from fire, you know, and so I think, okay, put your weight evenly, and stand in the middle, and then they won't, you know, then you'll be okay, and then they're both shaking like this, you know, and I did my monologue like that. I lived. By the way, I didn't die. I thought I would. And I, you know, it's so funny because I finished, and people, like, you know, everyone, yay, and I'm like, oh, that was terrible. And then the comments were, you're the only person that wasn't nervous. And I'm like, you know, they can't see the sweat in my palms and my, you know, palms, you know. And I don't know why, but that said something to me like, So I can be terrified, and you don't know that, you know. And so I, you know, did another monologue and a, you know, scene. And I started realizing I can kind of do this, and I'm like, I start getting really confident. I can be an actor, I can be actor, you know? And so the school auditions for Midsummer Night's Dream, and of course, what do I want to play? Oberon, King of the Fairies, you know? There lies Titania sometime. And oh, this is perfect, I'm made for this. I study. I practice, rehearse, my friend Les, oh, that's excellent, very good. Don't get your hopes too high, this is college, you know, and, you know, you might not be part of the drama department, but don't worry. And so of course, we go in, we do this audition in front of everybody, you watch each other in theater, you know, in college, and I watched everybody, and I did it myself, I went last, as I am wont to do, and I went and I did my thing, and I felt like really good, you know, there lies Titania sometime, but then I'm like, oh yeah, I scorched it, I got it, I did it, you know, and the casting went up like 2 days later, and I like, well, I kind of like you, I'll go see what I got here, you know, and I look and it's like, let me see now, Charles Martinet. This is before internet searches, because if I had been there, it would have come up 0, 0. Sorry, 0 out of 0. I got nothing, not even Spirit Carrier, not the guy that holds the leaf up in the air, nothing. And I'm like, wait a minute, you know? And so somehow that set the fire on me to be an actor, you know? And I don't know why that would do it. That would teach a normal person, well, hon, it's not working for you. Try something else, you know? Try plumbing, you know? It didn't work for me that way. I started doing speech. I went speech stuff, a speech team. We won the state championship and the national championship. And I kept doing more scene work and more study. And then along came Berkeley Repertory Theater and auditioned for a summer apprenticeship program at UC at Berkeley Rep. And I went in there, and all the same guys that had just finished doing the play, Midsummer Night's Dream, were there. And I auditioned with Oberon, because I'm a brat. Yeah, I'm a brat. So I auditioned with that, and I got into the apprenticeship program. And I started studying there, and then I said, okay, I'm going to go to acting school to be a really professional actor. I went to England, went to school, and then came back to America. Some, you know, tragic things sort of happened with friends of mine, and so I went down to San Jose Rep, and I started working there, and then I got tired of doing theater altogether, you know, because it just was I just wasn't giving me the joy that I had before. And so I kind of quit. And then a friend of mine calls me up and says, and this is how I bump my way through life. He goes, why don't, you know, do you want to come and do an audition for a corporate video? And I said, sure, what's a corporate video? He goes, well, it's a video, and it's corporate. It's just like acting in the theater, except there's a camera there. And I'm like, oh, well, sure, I'd be happy to do that, you know? And I went and I started auditioning for those, and I got like 10 out of 10. And they paid as much for a day of work, and they were much more fun and silly and creative than when I was getting paid a week in theater at 60 hours a week. So I'm like, this is fun, you know? And then you know, I'm just doing that, and then all of a sudden, one of the videos says, well, you know, this is great, we wanted you to do trade shows with us. So I stumbled into trade shows, and then I get sort of doing things. I'm an actor on a commercial, you know, remember what that's called, American Gothic, you know, where the husband is standing there with the pitchfork in his hand. That looks like me a lot. I'm 25 years old, I'm like, you know, it's supposed to be, yeah, next to this is what the farmer's wife, yeah, and she's like, that too, you know? And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's fine, you know, because, you know, in those days, lighting people took like 700 hours to light 10 seconds of film, you know? So we did our day, and the director goes, that's great. Listen, do you do voiceover? And I said, sure. What's a voiceover? Well, you just read this copy here, and you just, you know, it has to be like in 8 seconds or 10 seconds. And I looked at it and said, sure. Puts the microphone there. Orchard Supply Hardware, the right item at the right price, right now. Great, here's more money. And I'm like, oh, look at that, I'm a voiceover actor. So when I talk about destiny, you can take it with a grain of salt because I fall into it one way or another. But the one common thing that I can say is commitment to happiness, commitment to joy, commitment to fun. And, you know, that's one of the greatest gifts that I have is receiving your sense of joy and happiness in playing the games. And that's why for me, I really mean it's a tremendous honor and a tremendous joy to do what you love to do in life, for me to do what I love to do in life. and to be received so beautifully by so many people. And that, thank you so much for that. And I will continue doing these voices as long as I can. I promise. Does anybody have a question? Because there's a microphone over there, and I think you got to go up to the microphone.